In the halls of this New Jersey high school, echoes of uncertainty.
When you heard about the promise to dismantle the Department of Education, or at least reduce it in the name of efficiency, did that sound like a good idea to you, or were you concerned?
Very concerned. Very concerned.
Superintendent of Englewood Public Schools, Dr. Marnie Hazelton, walking us through the places where her students, faculty, and staff would feel any potential cuts first.
So we'll go in here. Are you anticipating impacts right away in the classroom?
Absolutely. We've already gone through the first wave of cuts a few weeks ago. Our funding for reimbursement for Medicaid, which is part of our IDEA, we saw that reduced from $280,000 down to $28,000.
A 90% cut in that money right away.
Absolutely, yes.
In the middle of the school year.
Yes. The services provided through Medicaid went to support our most fragile students, providing occupational therapy, mental health services, physical therapy.
President Trump has said he wants to shift control of education to the states. In 2021, right around 11% of school funding came from federal sources, according to the National Center for Education Statistics. The other almost 90% from state and local avenues. But Dr. Hazelton says every dollar in her district's budget is critical.
For every $100,000 in funding that you lose, what does that mean for a teacher or staff?
For every $100,000 that we lose, that is the equivalent of one teacher, one full-time teacher, including their benefits.
Another fear, the possibility the school could lose reimbursements for free meals that roughly 80% of their students qualify for.
For some of our most fragile students,
I'll follow you.
This is the only place where they get a hot, nutritious breakfast and lunch. We were so concerned that we partnered with our local grocery store to open a food pantry. We have a food pantry here where we distribute meals once every 2 weeks.
Hearing that the USDA recently just cut $1 billion of assistance for schools nationwide in terms of accessing fresh food from farmers and other sources, $1 billion. Does that give you pause for thought?
Absolutely. If children are hungry, they cannot learn. And if we are going to rely on highly processed food versus fresh fruits and vegetables, that is alarming.
Dr. Hazelton says she may need to make the difficult decision to cut sports and arts programs, which she says are the reasons many students look forward to coming to school.
What do you think the impact on the arts could be from these cuts?
Well, the first priority is always staffing classrooms. The priority is English, language arts, and math and science. So we would start to look at programs, our after-school programs, which include the arts.
A nearly impossible conundrum for school administrators, balancing basic services and those that can shape an entire high school experience.
Some of the students featured in the play, I didn't even realize they were musically inclined until they shared with me, I'm going to be in the musical. I didn't know you were into musicals. And you have to provide students that outlet and the opportunity.
Sam Brock joins us tonight from Englewood, New Jersey. So, Sam, do we know the total amount in dollars we're talking about here that could be cut? And what are you hearing about how that will already impact them for next year?
Yeah, we do right now. Certainly the amount of money that could be cut, Tom. And to give you just a sense of the financial tightrope that school districts like Englewood are walking right now, Englewood's budget for the entire year is $81 million. Then there's an additional $10 or $11 million of federal supplements, which is to say about 11 or 12% of the total financial picture is coming from the federal government. Now, here's the toughest part. We already mentioned in that piece that Medicaid reimbursements for this school year have already been removed by the administration, according to the superintendent. Well, right now, Tom, they're trying to plan their 25-26 budget, which the preliminary report on that is due in a matter of weeks. And Englewood basically doesn't know whether or not they're going to be getting a good chunk of this $10 million that's still on the table from the federal government. That is just a huge open-ended question. And the hardest part about that funding is heavily weighted towards special needs students and low-income students. And of course, as we lined out, there is a trickle-down effect as well, because once that money is taken away, if it is, it could affect things like sports and the arts as well. So just a potential potentially very difficult situation for school administrators.
Yeah, and then, the Department of Education, it has various functions in the way they interact with public schools. You've mentioned some of them. We know one of them is also anti-discrimination laws and sort of protocols in schools. Do we know what happens there? Does that department go away?
The DOE is responsible for enforcing anti-discrimination laws. So when I asked the superintendent that very question, her face went blank for a second then, and you could see the distress in her eyes, frankly, because what she said was, we don't know. There has been no guidance provided so far from the federal government as to where we're supposed to go if suddenly this entity, if DOE, just disappears tomorrow. She said they would be talking to their HR departments and continuing to handle things internally as they normally would. But from a federal level and federal action, they have absolutely no idea, Tom.
All right, Sam Brock for us, getting the story there. Sam, we appreciate it.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.